Alright, so thanks to the space-time continuum nonsense and uprooting my studio onto the Pillar of Autumn, I can still record while we travel to God knows where. So, while we head into the bright future, I think it's time to explore the past with a game from 2004. Van Helsing for the original Xbox, based on the movie of the same name. Oh, it's a licensed game. Well, Reign of Fire was a licensed game and I liked it. Maybe I'll get lucky with this one too. Nope. Fucking disappointment that actively angered me. Let's get started. Van Helsing's adventure begins with him stalking through the night as a strange man prepares an alchemic solution, while his mistress is chained to the support beam. The man drinks his concoction and quickly morphs into a large 10-foot-something man, and I've seen enough hentai to know where this is going. Thankfully, Van Helsing cockblocks him, but because Van's hat obscures his vision, doesn't kill him, and ends up chasing him for 3 years in that exact same area. How the fuck does anyone miss this big motherfucker? Well, after taking his sweet-ass time, Van manages to corner this dude at the top of the church, and we find out this is Hyde. And Van Helsing has been hunting him down for...
You are wanted for the killing of 12 innocent men, 6 women.
4 children, 3 goats, and a rather nasty massacre of poultry.
Not an impressive kill count, but big enough for Van to cut his arm off and slam him onto the church floor, turning him into a nice stain. Firstly, a weird-ass tutorial, because the only thing that connects this section to the rest of the game is that Hyde brings up the fact that Van Helsing doesn't have his memory. How he knows that is never brought up. Outside of that, this tutorial sequence does nothing other than showcase that Van Helsing sucks as a monster hunter. Remember, when we first see Van, he fails to kill Hyde, and someone lets this monstrous man run around for 3 years, racking a moderately decent kill count, and even then, he only wins because Hyde has shit balance. So let's continue on to the real plot. The church tasks Van Helsing with helping Princess Anna of Valencia with killing Dracula and finally allowing her family's souls to pass on to the afterlife. Sounds easy enough, and whole killing Dracula thing reminds me of a much better game I'd rather be playing right now. So Van Helsing explores the town, and when we get into combat, that's when we see the first issues with the combat system. The Tofo blades suck, and the guns are too strong. You know why Dante in the first DMC uses a large blade? Because of its range. You can get in close enough to do damage to one enemy and any other enemy immediately near it, giving the player good range and crowd control. The tofu blades on the other hand only go as far as Van Helsing's fists, meaning you might as well be trying to grind on enemies with how close you need to be. This range also means that enemies can easily smack you while you hit their buddy because the tofu blades have no capacity for crowd control. And you're stuck with these damn things for nearly the whole game. Next we have guns. In DMC, guns are primarily used as combo fill. They serve to deal minor damage while you close the gap, or when you launch enemies into the air, keep them airborne to give yourself some breathing room. But they had minimal damage and did not raise one's score. Van Helsing's guns serve as the best method for combat. Guns in this game have damage equal to melee weapons, and come late game, do far more damage than the melee weapons. Added to this, there's no score meter motivating players to spice things up and perform better and varied combos. Van Helsing has nothing like that, and the only motivation to fight is to gain instant kill moves. Kill 5 enemies in any way, shape, or form, and you can activate an execution move in which Van Helsing chucks something at the enemy and kills them instantly. But the player needs to kill enemies within a time limit, otherwise you need to start over from 0. This time limit is reset with every hit the enemy takes, so by shooting everything in sight, you can easily rack up executions and just tear through enemy hordes. Of course, I say everything in sight, except most of the time, you can't see a goddamn thing! The camera angles in this game barely showcase where an enemy spawns in from, and when it does, it usually masks other enemies. And because you can't see enemies most of the time, you can't see their cues when they do one of their gap closes or when they shoot you. This happens in boss fights too, so you can get jumped and knocked around because you can't see the boss, and quickly die because they'll just keep comboing you. And before I forget, Van Helsing has a grappling hook that lets you bring enemies closer to you. Also, not a good thing. The grappling hook takes too much time to drag enemies no matter what their distance is. But in the time it takes for you to grab them, you can get wailed on by his friends, especially since nearly every enemy is an aerial opponent. You just get punished for trying to go in melee only. So, the gameplay sucks, but is the story any good? Nah, it's mediocre at best, and the only reason I didn't quit is because I have a sick method of going to the end of the game before reviewing it. Upon arriving in Valencia, Van Helsing saves Anna from the brides of Dracula and gets bitched at because...
You killed a vampire. No one has done that in over 100 years.
Well, I'd say that was a good thing, wouldn't you?
Vampires only kill what they need to survive. Now they will kill for revenge.
Which is bullshit, because she was clearly prepared to kill Dracula early on, and later on you find that Dracula and his brides bathe in pools of blood. Survival my ass! So she basically tells him to fuck off while she goes to do... something I don't fucking know. Van Helsing does all the work, so whatever. Van continues on, fighting the Hunchback Igor and the Werewolf Valence. Their boss fights suck too. So then Helsing invades Castle Frankenstein and fights Dracula, who apparently was a comrade of Van Helsing 400 plus years ago. Van loses and is tossed out into the castle caverns where he meets Frankenstein's monster. He then proceeds to return to the castle and fight Dracula again. Of course, Drac doesn't go down that easily and transforms, forcing Van to escape with Anna and Frankenstein's monster, who are here for some reason. Anna and Frank get captured, and Van kills Igor and Valens, but not before Valens bites him. Sadly, this does not give you a werewolf devil trigger-esque mechanic. With Igor dead, Van gets the key to Dracula's castle and storms the place, saving Anna and Frank and killing the last bride, and almost killing Dracula. For some reason, Drac can survive impalement and multiple 100 bullets.
You didn't actually think I would let you kill me again, did you?
So Van transforms into a werewolf and eats his face off. Van then proceeds to murder Anna in his werewolf rage and turns back to normal right afterwards, because for some reason Dracula made a cure to lycanthropy. Our story ends with Van Helsing asking for forgiveness and Anna's soul moving on to heaven, much in the same way that I'm moving on to better games. Van Helsing isn't worth picking up. If you're finally in a bargain bin, pick something else. Or hell, play the original Devil May Cry's. You know, the games this one was trying to emulate but didn't get it. I'll see you next time, either when Anthony parks this fucking ship or when I find something else to review. Thank you for watching and have a wonderful night.